Today we'll look at an analysis that shows how the Leafs narrative has completely changed in a very short time. A team that, not long ago, raised a lot of doubts is now at the center of a very different discussion. The conversation now revolves around a turning point, leadership on the ice, and just how far this team can really go if they keep playing like this at this level. Let's watch together and see if this new version of the Leafs is for real or just another phase. But before we start, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That motivates me to keep bringing you more videos.
Well, Mark, it wasn't very long ago that there was lots of questions about the Toronto Maple Leafs. So what appeared to be maybe rock bottom, but they have certainly turned it around here in the last few weeks, including going into Colorado on a Monday night and beating a team that hadn't lost at home since October. So what's real here, Mark? Are the Toronto Maple Leafs a playoff contender? Are they even more than that?
It could be more than that. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, but a lot closer to the team we've been seeing lately that's been able to scratch and claw their way back into playoff contention. To me, the Maple Leafs have to be a shoo-in for the playoffs. They're just too talented a team. It's not unusual to see a talented team have some lulls and perhaps not the effort level needed to sustain success. That was early in the season. Since the Christmas break and Austin Matthews' 14 points in 8 games, leaders have been leading the way, and it seems like coaching staffs and players are aligned now for a team that's playing much better hockey. Any source of concern for you, or do you think they're for real, Craig?
Well, I think that they have certainly shown that they're capable of being a playoff team. And, you know, Mark, when you use the term scratch and claw, that's what they weren't doing. When Craig Berube said, ask them, when their effort level was just about zero. And I said, they better look at themselves in the mirror. It comes down to the players. You talk about the leaders. It wasn't a coaching issue. It was, are you going to dig in and are you going to compete in the hard areas? That's exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs have done over this stretch of games. Not easy going into Colorado and not only winning a game, but being in the fight. And that's where they found themselves, in the fight, which has to put a big smile on Craig Berube's face. After that, the goaltending has been excellent. We saw last year that the goaltending was a real significant part of their success. Well, it's been a big significant part of their success here. Whether it be Dennis Hildeby and the return of Joseph Woll, the goaltending has been really, really strong. So you combine good goaltending with a really good effort right through the lineup. And I'm not talking about working hard. I'm talking about committed effort where it matters. I think that the Toronto Maple Leafs have shown that. And what they've shown here in the last stretch, it's not accidental. It's what they can achieve if they continue along this path.
And you know what, Craig? I totally agree with you. You know how you go in a fight? You follow the leaders, and the leaders are leading the way for other players to follow them around. I agree with you on the goaltending. This is not all perfect, though, in Toronto land. I'm a little worried with that defensive group. I think the balanced ice time has worked really well. They've been a better group collectively as a committee. Toronto is still the only team in the NHL without a power play goal from their blue line. They need a QB1. They may need some help from management because this group has shown that they're willing, able, and committed to get back into the playoff picture.
And Mark, isn't that what it's all about when you're a team and you want to show the manager, hey, we're worthy? You saw it last year in Montreal, nearing the trade deadline, and the Montreal Canadiens played so well, and Kent Hughes said, hey, we're going to help you. We're not trading away our free agents. We're going to keep them here because we think we can make the playoffs. And I think that's exactly what a manager wants to see, and that's what the Toronto Maple Leafs are showing them. You know, we would be remiss to not talk about the brilliance of Austin Matthews here in this little stretch. All the questions surrounding him. What has he fallen off? What's wrong with him? Well, those answers now are really back to he's elite. And when you watch the way he's playing the game and the way that he's scoring again, I don't think there's any question that you talk about the captain, you talk about leaders, number 34 has certainly shown the way.
And Craig, I couldn't agree more. He's scoring more goals, but he's being rewarded for, just as you mentioned about all the Toronto Maple Leaf lineup. He's more committed, he's more engaged, and he's playing a better 200-foot game than he was at the start of the season. He's getting rewarded on the score sheet, and Nylander is scoring the big and very important goals as well. Leaders are leading the way. That's what it all comes back to, Craig.
Yeah, and now the Toronto Maple Leafs, where we thought they might be in a dogfight for the playoffs, I agree with you. They should be a shoo-in for the playoffs based on what we've seen. Now, can they get better? Can they show even that they're maybe more of a Stanley Cup contender than we thought they were?
Quick reminder for Leafs Nation, if you're a diehard Toronto fan and you're still bleeding blue and white, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It's the best way to stay updated every single day on our journey.
Well, after all that, it's easy to see why the atmosphere in Toronto has changed so much. Not long ago, the team seemed lost, no intensity, no response. And now, the conversation is completely different. The main point here isn't about results, especially since they just lost a game. But I'm talking about attitude. This team is competing again, fighting for every play, something that just wasn't happening before. When the leaders start setting the example, the rest follow. That's how I see it. Matthews is back to playing at a high level, not just scoring goals, but being more involved in the whole game. That changes the team's pace, boosts their confidence, and even changes how opponents see the Leafs. Add to that a goalie who's playing well in a roster that's more committed. The result seems, it just comes naturally. Of course, not everything is perfect. The defense still raises questions, especially on the power play, and that's pretty clear in the conversation. But the most important thing is that the team showed something that might be even more valuable than talent, a real desire to win. They showed management that they're willing to fight for something bigger, even without any incentives from new signings. But that's it. Again, I'm asking for your like and your subscription. That helps me a lot. But that's it, my friend. See you next time.